Hi everyone, it's Gone Researching, Tips, Tricks, and How-To. This is the 7th instructional video in a series I'm creating on Family Tree Maker 2017. My hope is this will serve as a visual supplement to the companion guide and help built into the program. I think everyone should be able to learn something useful regardless of whether you are new to Family Tree Maker 2017, upgrading from an older version, or have been using the program for a while now. The Places Workspace is probably one of the lesser used workspaces, but there are features of it that are used in other workspaces. The two prior videos covered place names and the Places Workspace itself. Now we will review the Place menu and adjusting resolving place names along with a tool under the Tools menu. This is Places Workspace Part 3, the Place menu and adjusting resolving place names. I'd like to first point out that I'm using Family Tree Maker 2017, the build used by Software Mac Kiev in 2017 on an older computer that came with Windows 7 but is now running Windows 10. There are now two updates to Family Tree Maker 2017 that were released in February 2018 and September 2018. But I'm not using either yet because I'm keeping my program the same version as the cousins while we work on something. For those who are already running either update, don't worry, everything else here still applies to those releases, though a few features have been tweaked. I'll try to point out any changes or tweaks with regards to the updates. Family Tree Maker 2019 is just around the corner. The majority of the content of these videos will apply to Family Tree Maker 2019. I will create a separate video overviewing the differences between 2017 and 2019 once 2019 is released. As a reminder, in order to use the Records Merge feature, you must have the Family Tree Maker 2017 version and be signed into your Family Search account, which is free, and or be signed into your Ancestry data subscription to access the record collections on Ancestry, which requires a subscription fee. I say this at the beginning of every video because for the most part each video can stand alone and you do not have to watch them in order. Connected to the Places Workspace is the Place menu in the menu toolbar. It contains actions you can take to resolve many problems with your place names. Under the Place menu, which is only shown in the menu toolbar when in the Places Workspace, are Resolve this place name, Change place name, Ignore place warning, Move to description, Replace with other place name, and Delete place at the bottom of the menu. Another Places related tool is under the Tools menu. There you will find Resolve All Place Names. Before we go through these various actions, if you do not already have the description field showing for your places, or need information on the Place Name Authority Place Name Database, or FAST fields, or the Place Options preference, please see my 5th instructional video called Places Workspace Part 1 Place Names. As I said in the Places Workspace Part 1, you do not have to use the Place Name Authority or the Place Name Database, but if you want to use the interactive map features, you do. It would also be good to know before we start that if you realize you made a mistake when editing or changing a place name, if you go to the Edit menu in the menu bar and select Undo, you can change back the edit or change you just made if you do it before making any other edits and changes. Let's go through the various actions, starting with the Resolve This Place Name, which is grayed out when you have no unrecognized places. Select the place name to resolve, aka the old place name. Then go to the Place menu and select Resolve Place Name to open the Resolve Place Name action. Or you can right-click and select it from the drop-down list. In this dialog box, there is an option to move the first part of the selected place to the place detail. The place detail does not really move the first part, what is before the first comma, to another text field. It simply causes the authority database to ignore what is before the first comma and start with the next division in the place name. This is one method that can be used for situations where you have a historical place, an address, a church, hospital, or cemetery name that you need to resolve so the unrecognized place name can become a recognized place name. It is just one way to handle this situation. After you have dealt with the place detail, if needed, then you can decide if any of the suggested place names are what you need for your place location. If not, tweak the place name and select the search button to check the authority database again. When you find the new place name, select the Replace button. If you can't find a match in the authority database, but you are satisfied with what you have entered, then select the Ignore button to resolve the place name. If you cannot yet find a revised place name that satisfies you, then click Cancel and try again later. And as you can see, our location is now recognized. So if we had previously entered suburb, city, county, state, country, which is one more place division than what is used, we could do one of two things. In this instance, we have Venice, Los Angeles, California. The things to notice with the move to place detail are: 1, that the move segment still appears in the place name field. 2, that it will appear in the authority database hierarchy if the remaining name is recognized by the authority database. 3, that the pin is located on the first level of the division recognized by the authority database, which is not necessarily the actual location of the segment now marked as place detail. Closely related to the Resolve This Place Name action is the Resolve All Place Names tool, found under the Tools menu in the menu bar and at the top of the left list panel in Places Workspace. If you have several unrecognized places, the Resolve All Place Names tool will let you resolve them all at one time. Because this could mean a big change, the tool will ask you to make a backup before you begin. Since you may be making a large amount of changes, this is advisable. After selecting the tool and doing a backup, the dialog box presents a list of all the unrecognized place names with a suggested place name for each. Putting a check mark in the unrecognized or suggested indicates which place name to use, here or here. There are also options to move unrecognized text to the description field, ignore to stop marking this place name as unrecognized, and other to search for another spelling of this place. 14 locations can be seen at once, but the list does scroll down. Please note that you need to resolve all the locations listed before selecting the OK button. So if you have hundreds of unrecognized places, this probably is not the tool for you because it is highly unlikely you can do hundreds in one work session. My personal opinion is that making changes to the place name locations is easier in the Places Workspace because you can more clearly see what you're changing and tweaking and affecting, and you can work on resolving your place names at your own pace. In my main tree file, I had well over 1,500 places in my tree before I finally decided to resolve my unrecognized places. What was wrong with my locations? A variety of things, like church or cemetery listed before the city or township, county, state, and country. The same location listed multiple ways with variations of the modifier town, township, county, incomplete locations, and multiple locations like this or that in one place name. I have been doing genealogy for over 20 years. After about 6 days of at least a few hours each day, some involved more than several hours a day, my places are now all resolved, and the tally is now 975 place names. I used a variety of these actions under the Place menu, mostly the ones that we will be reviewing after this point. Okay, change place name.
This action changes the place name for all occurrences in the tree when accessed from the Places workspace. Select the place name to change, aka the old place name. Then either go to the Place menu and select Change Place Name, or double-click the selected place name to open the Change Place Name dialog box. In the Person's workspace, when you manually change a place name that is used more than once, this Change Place Name dialog box appears with the option active to just change this one instance of the place name or all instances of the place name. This choice is only available in the People workspace. In either case, these multiple instances of the place name may be in any fact event for any person in the tree. Remember, you will see associated people in the right-hand panel.
In the resulting dialog box,
It tells how many times this place is used in this tree file. In the New Place Name field, you can manually edit or change the place name, or you can click on the icon to the right to bring up the Resolve This Place Name action to resolve the place name from the authority database. There is also the option to type text into the description field for the place name. This is another method that is helpful for moving cemetery, church, hospital names, addresses, etc. from the place field so the authority database can recognize the place name. Instead of making the authority database, ignore that first segment before the first comma. You move that first segment into the description field. Simply check the box to add the description field to all the facts that use this place, meaning the old place name instances, to which you are giving a new place name with a description. You will have to manually move the first segment either by retyping it and deleting it from the place name or cutting and pasting using keyboard shortcuts into the description field. So if we have a cemetery name before a village, town, or township name, we can move that to the description field. We're going to cut cemetery name and then paste it into the description field and then delete the space and the comma. Now in the new place name field, you'll notice that having removed the cemetery name, the place name is now seen as a recognized place name. I'm going to OK that. When using the description field, that location text does not get added to the place hierarchy like when using the place detail field. If the place name you are changing has any existing information in the description field, you can inadvertently add unwanted information to some fact place where you don't want it. For example, a cemetery name gets added into the description field for a marriage. So be careful. If you do want to move text to the description field and there is already text there, the new information is added after a backslash. You can manually clean up the description field of each individual use of the location if needed.
Okay, the ignore place warning is grayed out when there are no unrecognized places. This action removes the unresolved place name icon from the place and no longer warns you about the place name. It does not result in the place name being nested in the place name hierarchy. You will likely need to tell Family Tree Maker where on the map the place is located using either the GPS coordinates or using the push pin. So as an example, I have the village of Outlinden. Research tells me that it was at the time of this person's birth named Hof Malkow. And these are the GPS coordinates. Back in Places, we're going to tell it to ignore place warning, and our icon changes to a check mark instead of a question. Then on the map, we're going to locate Outlinden and then click on the map to reset the pin. From my notes on this person, I'm going to copy this text back to Places and enter something in the short name. And now our location is recognized and properly pinned on the map. Okay, our next action is move to description. This action moves the place name from the place field to the description field. That is all it does. There are no options or things to select. The action simply warns by asking you, are you sure you want to do this? It does this action to all instances of the select place names use. So, use this action with caution. Remember, there is the edit menu, undo, in case you need it. The next action is replace with other place name. This action replaces the name of the selected place with the name of the place you select from the index of places, merging the facts associated with the first place name into the facts listed with the second place name. Select the place name you want to replace, click on the place menu, then replace with other place name, or right-click the location. A dialog box appears with the index of places used in your tree file. Locate and select the place name you want to use, then click OK. Then confirm the change by clicking Yes. There is no option to search the authority database for a place name. Delete place. Use this action with caution. It removes the currently selected place from all the facts in the tree using that place and the place from the places list. It does not remove the facts using that place. For example, I have Wyoming in here. And let's say I determine Wyoming is not the location. So what we do, we can see that there's a birth about 1853 in Wyoming and a birth about 1825 in Wyoming for Jacob Doe and Stephen Doe. If I select delete place, are you sure? So then if I go into the people and click on Jacob, we can see his birth information is still there, but the birth location has been removed.
Now, if you have been doing genealogy a long time or have read some genealogy how-to books, let us talk about the elephant in the room. You probably learned to record a place as it was known at the time of the event, which may not be how that place is known today, or was known even just years after the event. But many of today's genealogy programs use internet-based interactive maps to add bells and whistles to the programs. These interactive maps only keep track of what a place is called today, not, say, 200 years ago. So, what is a genealogist to do? To take advantage of these features, one suggestion is to record the place as it is known today and make note of the historical location. In Family Tree Maker, there are two ways, at least, to do this. Use the description field or use the place detail. So let's take a look at an example using Plymouth Colony. To use the description field, we would enter the location as it is today, Plymouth, Massachusetts, USA. In the description field, start with at time or was Plymouth Colony, or Plymouth in Plymouth Colony. And so when we go to the map, it's plotted. To use the place detail, we would enter the location as Plymouth in Plymouth Colony now, comma, Plymouth, Massachusetts, USA. If we go to the map, you can see it's not showing us recognized, so let's resolve this place name. Move the first part before that first comma up to the place detail and choose it and replace. Now, our historical location in the place detail is plotting properly with Plymouth. So that's one way to handle it. This can also be done for towns, townships, or counties that were later divided. Here's an example. Ben Carpenter is noted on the 1790 census as being in the town of Washington, Dutchess County, New York. By the 1800 census, he's recorded as being in the town of Stanford, Dutchess County, New York. One would think that Ben and his farm moved. Doing a little research on the location using a variety of sources, we instead learned that Ben Carpenter and his farm never moved. It's the government jurisdiction that changed in 1793 when the northern part of the town of Washington was sectioned off and became the town of Stanford. We have some options on how to record these in Family Tree Maker. We can record the 1790 census that he was in Washington, Dutchess, New York, USA, and use the description field to say now part of the town of Stanford. Or for the 1790 census, we can say Stanford, Dutchess, New York, USA. At the time, the town of Washington, or Washington, the town of. Or we can use a place detail and say Washington, town of, now, comma, Stanford, Dutchess, New York, USA. How we decide to finally put it into our Family Tree Maker program may affect where that pin is plotted in the places map. If we say the town of Washington, pin plotted here. If we say the town of Stanford, the pin is plotted a little bit to the north. If we say, using the place detail, Washington town of, now Stanford, the pin is in the same spot. Which way you decide to handle a historical location is up to you and how you prefer it to appear in your charts and reports. Lastly, every place name cannot be resolved in the bubble of Family Tree Maker. You may need to reference other sources to figure out just what a place name should be called either historically at the time or present day now. Reference sources that may help are gazetteers in print or digital form, like the website for the Myers Ort, which is a German gazetteer, a Wikipedia page for a specific place, even international locations can help, as they often give history of the formation of the place and jurisdiction changes. Using sites that incorporate gazetteer information. Here we have Outlinden, Malco, and Hofmalco, which are all the same place with name changes over time. Using the Bing Maps site in your browser can help for modern place names, as well as Google Maps can help, Or you may need to reference historical maps that may or may not be digital. On the Myers-Ort side are links to maps. We have a modern day map showing the area, and what we learned from the Google or the Bing's map, we can see the historical map shows Malco sitting in the same place where Alton Linden resides today. I hope you have enjoyed and learned something from this video. If you have not watched the videos before this one, I hope you will. It really would be beneficial to watch, especially if reading the companion guide or the built-in help does not thrill you. The next video will be on the media workspace. Thank you for watching. This has been Tips, Tricks, and How-To by Gone Researching.